Blessings, everyone. Today I would like to do a reading that's a little bit different than the usual oracle readings that I do. And this has been a strong message that's been coming through the last few days from Spirit. And they want me to speak about what has been talked about for quite some time now, which is the divine counterpart. Sacred union, twin flame, soulmates, these beautiful love relationships where there's a purpose, that these two beautiful hearts come together, start experiencing love, whether it's miracles, synchronicities, unbelievable amounts of synchronicities. They're correcting me. There's telepathy, there's this feeling of being pulled at the heart space, the familiarity, and the list goes on. We can research that. There's many books available or videos online that we can look at. And they want me to use 3 different decks, and this is kind of how it's done with this reading today. And the first one is going to be the Past Life Oracle. And the reason why Spirit is having me choose this one is because we've come to the place now where we're expanding in consciousness, we're opening up the heart space, we're living centered in this space, and we're understanding that there's so much more than this. And as we recognize one another, we also recognize that sometimes there's a theme that comes up, especially if it's a karmic relationship where there's soulmates. A lot of twin flame divine unions have this dynamic where there's some unhealed shadow work that they trigger in each other. And this oracle kind of gives an insight to a theme that be carried from a past life. And it's definitely coming out as shadow work between both that are in this dynamic. And the second one I'm going to use is the Romance Angels. And this one embodies the now. This one gives insight as to maybe there's a certain type of communication between those that are in love, and maybe there's a little bit of a struggle there. Or there's a certain type of energy that's moving back and forth in the moment, in the present, between the divine counterparts, sacred love union, whatever names that is kind of on the hype right now that people want to use for this. I just say that we're in love and we're remembering each other with a purpose. And then the third one is the Hidden Truth Oracle. And what this oracle kind of embodies, the hidden truth, is it's the message that there are sometimes hidden energies, hidden dynamics that need to come to the surface. Doesn't mean that it's looked at as a positive or a negative, but this is something that is hidden within the divine counterparts, sacred union, soulmates, lovers, best friends, that is very difficult to speak about. Or maybe they're not sure how to express this energy. And this is moving forward through this. This is something that they're going to be working on, kind of moving through into the future. So I don't like to give a time. Spirit is correcting me as I'm saying this on any of this. But just to put things into perspective, whether it's past, present, future, it's all the now. But we understand in some kind of context that this helps kind of get the reading to flow. So first I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be a medium of light. And I ask all the angels and the guides and ancestors to blend so that we may bring a message for the highest good. Thank you, I'm grateful. Now I shuffle the cards. And the first shuffle helps to move the energy with Source and aligns. The second shuffle embodies the energy of Spirit and higher self and aligns. And then the third shuffle embodies the soul, which is that beautiful, expressive personality, animated story that navigates the journey here. And then I just always move the deck around. I like to do it this way. Spirit will bring the card up and tell me which one, or sometimes it comes out of the deck and then they say take that one, and so this one's coming up and they're saying this is it. Asia. As I'm feeling the blend, they're saying, although the card is representing a country or a continent, or perhaps the dynamic of the Buddha, they are saying in spirit that one of the things that has been a past life theme for these beautiful loves, these divine counterparts, is that the stillness in this meditative state, the love that is carried through many, many lifetimes, the theme for them that will help them recognize one another is that in each other's arms, in each other's presence, when they look in each other's eyes, there's a peace, there's a stillness that comes through. And we can have this with many people that we recognize from before here. And sometimes it's just not the physical. They say the eyes are the gateway to the soul, Spirit is saying. But it is also the remembering of source. It ignites the light that's in I as in you. And so this past life theme that's coming through embodies the Buddha energy. And that when they're together, they will know that there is this profound calming that they're able to resonate with each other. Even when they're having disagreements and there is maybe a little bit of an argument going on, that's nor here nor there. But what Spirit is saying is that this beautiful calm, this peace, that they're able to resonate with each other. They always find this. No matter what goes on throughout the day or what events happen, whatever they may have to be doing, maybe they're apart for a while, maybe they're back and forth with their connections, it's on and off. When they're in that space and they are connected, there is this beautiful sense of peace. It's like looking into someone's eyes, they say, and remembering home. And it doesn't have to be explained. It doesn't have to be analyzed. It's just this peace. And it feels very safe. And when they're together and they're meditating or they're working through their spiritual practices, whatever that is for them, there is this sacred space. It's like holding the light. And this has been carried through many lifetimes, and this, they're saying, will help them to recognize one another. When they feel this, they'll know. And so the second oracle that I'm going to be using now, which is the Romance Angels Oracle, and this one helps to embody the energy that they're experiencing right now. Sometimes there are certain dynamics that are happening in the moment, the energies that we embody, the feelings that we have, and it just helps to bring some sort of a focus in, something that they can contemplate, something to bring mindfulness to. And as I move the cards around, I can already feel the angels. They they just sing this beautiful symphony, and I'm so grateful. They're blending. Okay. They're saying, take this one. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And as the angels blend, I could just feel there's this beautiful feeling. They're showing me like a tunnel, like when we hear the stories of the near-death experience. And I have experienced this, so this is very close to my heart. And it's just pure white light. And it feels like home, like the warmest blanket, the warmest hug, that feeling that everything is okay. And they want us to trust in this present moment that there is a divine timing. There is, when it comes to love, divine counterparts, twin flames, soulmates, and there is this purpose for them. We have to trust the universe that the alignment comes when our soul contracts and our hearts are ready. And sometimes they're saying with this runner-chaser dynamic that this is just another way to enable bad behaviors, and we don't want to do this. These things are not needed in this dynamic. When there is this love bond, there isn't any running and chasing. There isn't any of this maybe, should be, could be. There's this knowing. There's this knowing. And as we are on this journey, and our personal journey through spiritual practices and expanding our consciousness, stepping into this awareness, we don't struggle with that fear anymore. We know that the way this is supposed to unfold is perfected in divine timing. And we don't struggle with that fear. Both that are in this experience of love and are connected or connecting in the moment are getting to where it needs to be, because there is a very, very powerful purpose in this love. When we're in a divine counterpart union, it isn't just about the romance. I mean, that's, of course, very, very profound. But it's also about a purpose. There has to be a purpose that they are seeking within one another, that their love brings a purpose, whether they decide to have a healing practice together, or maybe it's that they like to go out on the weekends and walk dogs together. Maybe they're deciding to motivate and encourage others. There's always a purpose for them being together. It's not just their own individual purpose, but it's a love, a divine counterpart, a twin flame purpose, that their union in the moment during the divine timing is going to ripple and reach out to many. Now, this third card that I'm going to be reading from is the Hidden Truth Oracle. And this one can be a little blunt, so forgive me if some of the things that come out seem a little bit harsh. What Spirit is very adamant before I read from this oracle is that they don't want us to judge too much of right, wrong, good, or bad. That this message is just a challenge that may be involved in this dynamic, that both of those that are in love may be encountering, whether it's a form of communication or an emotional experience. Maybe there's a wound that's going on and it's going back and forth. And this is something that can bring a profound healing. And so I'm just going to move the cards around a little bit. And they're saying, take this one. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. And as the guides are blending, they're saying to remember that the set of eyes that we look into made a promise before we got here that we would remember each other, meet up again in this lifetime, and journey together and help each other in the physical, stay on the course, not to give up, to keep shining that light. And gratitude is what keeps them together, even through the most difficult of it, because we all know it's a kind of they're laughing in spirit, but it's kind of a running joke, the shadow work, as we all know. Oh my goodness, that's the stuff. And so Spirit is saying that hold that space of gratitude. It is miraculous on itself that we're here. Nonetheless, that we've reconnected with someone in this beautiful space that brings us into that safe moment, that reminds us of the light, that we mirror each other in that space. Stay grateful for the triggers, because if there's going to be heavy triggers when you're that spiritually entwined, there's a purpose and a lot of lessons that come out. And we're not going to do that with someone that we don't feel safe for, or that deeply in love with. The deepest love brings out the deepest wounds sometimes. But the difference is when it's someone that's in a divine space with us, we understand that there's a lesson and we're grateful for that. And then we hold space for each other as the other is journeying through that. And instead of being frustrated and overwhelmed and angry about these things and holding grudges, we begin to embody that space of gratitude, because now we're stepping into the space of healing. We're lifting the energy. We're holding ourselves accountable. We're being responsible for how our life goes. And with these triggers back and forth, we're recognizing that we're not giving up on each other. We're letting each other know that we feel safe in this space. Sometimes there'll be triggers that we've buried so far, we're not even sure what's happening. But there's something within the other that love allows that to come to the surface. And that's an honor. That's a very special love. And if many of us are on our last lifetime and we've come to understand that they're going to be very, very heavy, these triggers, these moments. But we have to stay in that space and remember the tools. Remember that this is from a space of love, that we made these promises because we weren't going to give up on each other. They're pulling their energy back. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to bring this message. I hope this finds everyone well and they feel inspired. Much love and beautiful blessings.